Hello, everybody. My name is Mike McDonald, and I am the president of Kidventure, and it's wonderful to be with you today. This is the next in our series of live streams, and today we're talking all about Leads. Now, Leads is our teen summer day camp program. It has been around for a long time, and it is definitely one of our favorite programs, one that I think is probably more needed now than maybe ever before. So this is entering sixth grade through entering ninth grade. And to help me with all that today are two experts with the Leads program. I'd like to bring them in. The first I'd like to bring in is Nada Galan. Nada, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing good. Things are getting busy, huh?
Yes, they are. We're right at the start of summer.
Yes, I feel like once April hits around here, it's like we've gone up this roller coaster hill, and then April is that first part of that downhill, and things start to really speed up.
Yes.
But we're excited. Our 32nd year of summer camp, and it's going to be amazing. Also joining us today is Noelle. How are you, Noelle?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, doing well. Thank you so much for asking. How's everything there in Austin?
It's great. We're excited. We're got lots of upcoming events and things coming up, so it's just extra fun happening right before the summer starts.
All right, well, I'm gonna bring everybody together here. There we go. Um, all right, guys. So today we're talking about leads. Nada, what's the first thing that comes to mind when we talk about our leads camp?
That they're growing up. I remember them as discovers, and now they're all grown into the lead program, and it makes me sad but excited at the same
Makes you
time.
sad? Sad that they're growing out of the
Yes,
Kidventure program?
yes. I wish they could stay with us forever.
I think of kids that I know who are leads kids that started as discoverers. Uh, and on one side, that makes me feel really proud and happy. On the other side, it makes me feel really old too, as well. Noel, what do you love most about the leads program?
I love that it's an opportunity for middle schoolers that's not normally provided in the summertime. Like they have lots of extracurriculars and stuff during the school year, but the summer, I feel like there's not really much for middle schoolers to do.
Yeah.
So giving them this place to have adventures and make new friends is really special.
You don't think sitting home all summer long swiping from right to left is a good thing to do all summer?
No, not good at all.
Yeah, I know. I think back when I was a kid, um, back in the late 1800s, when we didn't have cell phones, and that was one of the most exciting times. It's like it wasn't a boring time for
Mhm.
me. I mean, when school got out in May, I mean, it was like full on adventure freedom, right? And I think you're right. I think that kids today don't have many options because they don't have to. I think a lot of parents just assume, well, their kids can just stay home in the summertime. And I was a kid in the summertime, I needed stuff to do, right? Me
Mhm.
being bored in seventh grade at home by myself was probably a recipe for not good things to happen, right? And I think the reason Leads is such a great program is because one, it provides parents with this really safe, fun, great environment where their kids are going to grow and learn and thrive and do things. And for the kids, it's like hang out with their friends and have a great time, right? And do all those things. So it's the best of both worlds, I think. And so we're here today to talk specifically about Leads. Now, we will have a Q&A at the tail end of this. And so what I urge people always to do is if you have a question, go ahead and throw it in the comment section because you might forget about it later on. And then we'll throw it in on the Q&A, talk about it, share it with everybody so everybody can benefit from that. So with that, let's talk about the agenda. We're going to see a short video first about leads hosted by Cheyenne, and then we'll talk about the leads basics, a little bit about our philosophy and goals. What is it we're trying to do with the leads program? What is our objective, and what are we setting out to accomplish? At Kidventure, we talk a lot about outcomes. We'll talk about those. Um, then we'll go into the curriculum. What are the kids actually doing during camp? Because really, Leads is very different than Explorers and Discovers, as it should be, because they're sixth through ninth graders, right? We have a much different focus for Leads, thus the name. We'll talk about some new things for 2026. We'll talk about coming to camp, what they wear, some logistics, and then we'll touch on what I think is one of the more important things about all of our programs, and that's the team, the counselors, the directors, the support staff for you and your kid. And then we'll throw Q&A out there. And if you have questions, great. If you don't, that's great. We'll talk about those questions and answer those at that point in time. All right. Did I leave anything out? Are y'all ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready.
All right, let's watch a movie.
At Kidventure, we believe camp should be a place where middle school is a pivotal time when young build lasting friendships and cultivate a strong sense of self-confidence and discovering their potential. That's the heart of our program. That's why we created for our campers and.
All right. We had technical difficulty, y'all. We got kicked off, and I don't really know why. Apologize for that, but let's continue. So we're going to talk about the leads basics, and these are sort of the things that are just inherent in the program, right? That are static and don't change. Leads is a full day program. So we run leads at not every campsite, right? And we're going to run that program at several sites. Those you can see at the website on your city page. But where we do run it, it's a full day program, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And once again, if you're entering 6th grade through 9th grade, then you are eligible for the leads program. The ratio is 1 to 12. So there's one counselor per every 12 kids. And we divide up in small groups. So 6th graders, 7th graders, 8th graders, they're kind of broad, they're separated by age groups or by grades, if you will. We do come together for a variety of things, but we scale everything too as well, because what an 8th grader is doing and what a 6th grader is doing and entering 6th grader is doing can be very different depending on that curriculum activity. They'll have the same counselor for each week, which is very important. And then once again, we combine with other groups, like things like field trips and maybe community service projects and so forth. All right. Did I miss anything there, you guys, on the basics?
Yeah, I think we got it all covered.
Okay. Let's talk about that camp day, okay? Run us through that, Nada.
Yeah, so for leads, they'll have drop off at 7:45. Depending on our location, we'll join either opening ceremonies with our explorers or we'll have our own opening ceremonies. Again, everything's scaled to our leads program. They will also have morning rotations with the leads activities. They'll go to lunch. They don't necessarily have a midday rally like our explorers do. Everything's very scaled to their age group. They'll go to afternoon rotations and activities. And again, depending on the day, because our leads programs are at shared sites that have multiple programs, sometimes it's not as easy to do closing ceremonies together. But they'll do a closing ceremony nonetheless. We'll do pickup for those kiddos that leave right at carpool time, and then we'll have post camp from 3 to 6. And again, that's optional.
Great, thank you for that. Let's talk about the curriculum too as well. Noel, I'm gonna throw this one your way. Explain to parents maybe how we divide up our curriculum and what we do.
Yeah, so our curriculum is divided into 4 cornerstones. These are things that have been with Kidventure probably, I think, since the very beginning, really important values we have. And those are creativity. So for leads, these could be different process art things. It could be part of their leads lounge too, if they have some opportunities for, free things in there. Is really, pushing them outside their comfort zones. It could be STEM challenges, maybe some team building activities, things like that. Physical activity, of course, it's summer camp. We're going to be playing lots of games and, tiring them out throughout the day. We'll have a rock wall. We'll do some archery tag, gaga ball. They also have a sport of the week. So they're really digging into one sport, learning how to play it, and then getting to play it all together. And then reflection. So giving them time and things like our core discussions to really dig into our character traits, what it means to be a leader and a young adult in this day and age, and really giving them that time to reflect and talk with each other.
That's great. Yeah, do me a favor. We have echo cancellation on, but I don't know if it's working as well. So when you guys talk, bring down your levels, if you would, on volume, so we don't get any feedback, and then bring it back up when we talk, okay? All right. All right. So, Noel, thanks for sort of doing that. I mean, everything that we do at Kidventure is really by purpose, right? And so when we designed the LEADS program, we designed that program to be very purposeful for that age group. We know that that 6 through 9 entering ninth grade is sort of a crossroads, if you will. And we feel like they're not a kid anymore, but they're not a young adult anymore. Let's design activities that are going to help provide them with the opportunity to grow, to thrive, and to develop some skills that I think that they're going to take with them as they move forward. They go into high school, they go into college. And a lot of those are leadership skills, right? Unique to this program are going to be some things in that LEADS program that we don't do in Explorers, and we certainly don't do in the Discover program. One of those is community service project. So every week, our kids have that community service project. That community service project is designed to give them an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of somebody else, right? We think that one of the best ways to teach leadership skills is through giving back. And they're really involved in it. In some of these projects, they're involved on the planning process on the front end, as well as the execution process on the back end. In addition to that, we have another field trip, which is more that fun, adventure-based field trip. They do that every week or have that experience. Then we have other time for them to do. Leeds Lounge, that I think Noel mentioned, is a chance for us to get together and talk, right? One of the things when you're in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade is you don't want to just be moving from event to event to event to event to event and doing and doing. You want to hang out with your friends, but we prompt those opportunities in those times with great discussion topics. So the kids are having worthwhile discussions. And it's really, really neat to actually watch that happen and be a part of that every day. All right. I think, there we go. Here, let me get rid of that. There we go. I'm going to move on to let's talk a little bit more about the curriculum. And I'm going to show you guys some pictures and sort of give you an idea of all the kind of things that we do. Once again, sports, community service project, Leeds Lounge, field trip, archery, rock climbing, team building. Team building is real important. Neda, talk to us about the team building and sort of why we do that and how we incorporate that into our program, okay?
Yeah, so team building is very important, especially for a leads program, right? They're right at the age where they start working with people. So it really works on their social skills, going through challenges together as a team, communicating with one another to have the end goal of success. So that social piece and team building, right, and working together in groups is really, really important with leads.
Yep. All right, I'm going to share some pictures, you guys, with everybody, give you an idea of some of the things that we're. Here's a good example of a team building exercise, a low element. Probably a core discussion, probably what we're
Yeah,
having there,
so
right?
uh-huh. A good for those who don't know what core discussion is, we'll have a character trait for our leads for all our programs really. But for leads is really emphasizing that character trait for the week, right? So the character trait is respect. We talk about how we can be respectful, how in our day to day, right? So we'll have this open discussion within our groups, guided by our counselors, to really collaborate about our character traits.
This is an example of a community service project. I don't remember where that's at. Do you remember where that is, Nada?
That's called Kids Meals. They provide for meals for lower income families. So our leads kiddos helped pack them for the summer.
More pictures of our kids. That gives you kind of an idea of what a lead site kind of looks like, you guys. And a few more pictures, y'all. I think that's probably a field trip to something like altitude or something like
Altitude.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very good. All right, let's talk about coming to camp. Ned mentioned earlier that drop-off is curbside, so our families don't go into camp. We've staged ourselves outside 7:45 to 8 o'clock in the morning to receive your kid. As they come into camp, we'll check them in, make sure that we have all emergency numbers and everything is sort of in order. And then you're off and they're off. Our staff will escort them in, and just please ensure that, like, if they have any meds, that we hand those off to the director at that time with medical dosage form. We can talk about that here in a little bit too as well, and where you can find some of that. Once they're in camp, they'll be introduced to their small counselor. Mondays are real important because that's when they get introduced to their counselor, an integral part of their camp experience. And then you can kind of say, they're basically gonna be in rotations in the morning, have lunch, and then in the afternoon have rotations before we come back together again. We always do lunch together, and then we'll provide a snack as well. At the end of the day, when you come to pick up, you're either going to pick up when camp is over at 3 o'clock, or they're going to transition into the post camp, which you have the option to stay there until 6 o'clock in the afternoon. What to wear and pack. Noelle, talk to us a little bit about that, please.
So very important to wear their Leeds camp shirt. That is just a safety precaution for us. Make sure we, know where all of our campers are at all times. They're wearing their own shirt, which I know is really big for explorers transitioning into Leeds. They're finally in that gray kind of colored shirt, which is really cool. Definitely comfortable athletic wear. We're going to be really active, so you want to be able to move around. Definitely need tennis shoes. I know Crocs and slides are like the biggest thing right now and very cool, but they need to wear tennis shoes so that they can move around safely. If you're not ordering camp lunch through one of our caterers that we provide, you'll need to pack a camp lunch. Definitely bring a filled water bottle. We'll also have water on site too to refill those, but you're going to need lots of water. We suggest applying sunscreen in the morning and then packing some to reapply throughout the day. And then definitely label everything you have. Even for those older kids, we lose things all the time. The lost and found table grows and grows and grows. So definitely make sure everything is labeled and ready to go. But yeah, really comfortable clothes, tennis shoes, those things are really important. Bringing that water bottle and labeling it all.
Thank you, Noelle. Appreciate that. One of the ways that we operate at camp is through the Kidventure app. And I think this is real important for you guys to know. So when you come to Kidventure, you'll need to download the Kidventure app. The reason for that, there's a lot of reasons for that, but one of the main reasons is this is how we check your child out of camp at the end of the day. So it'll generate a unique QR code for your family, which you'll just hold up. You'll pull up from the app, and then we'll take a picture of that, and that will digitally check your child out of camp, timestamp that, and that's how we manage that process. It's been really great. It makes the car line go a lot quicker. Now the app is used for a lot of other things too as well. We take pictures during camp. We get to share those pictures with you during camp. You can check status on notifications. If we have inclement weather or tomorrow a reminder goes out for a field trip, we're going to put those in the notifications, send those to you. Just a great way for us to communicate with you, and you can sort of keep camp in the palm of your hand. But you really need to download that app in order to be able to do all of those things. I'm going to talk, let's talk a little bit more about communications, okay? That app is one way that we communicate with our families, right? So once summer starts, it's not a lot about emails anymore. It's really about using the camp app, and it's about the camp newsletter and your customer service rep. And let me explain all those things. Every Thursday before the week attending, you'll be sent the camp newsletter for your specific campsite and that specific week. It's going to have your kids' itinerary on there, where they're going for their community service project or their field trip. It's going to have a variety of things on there, including, but not limited to, medical dosage forms or any kind of links that you might need. And the last thing that we have is a customer service rep. So you have someone, a warm human voice, that's been assigned to you, who can answer your questions and help you out with anything. All you got to do is pick up the phone and call them, email them. Their information is going to be in your newsletter too as well, right on the first page of that. So I urge you guys, if you prefer to talk to somebody, we like that. Just feel free to reach out to them and they can answer any of those questions for you and take care of all that stuff for you. All right. That's how we communicate at camp. I feel like we do a really thorough job communicating with our parents. There's kind of some other ways, Nate, to talk to them about when they drive up, what they would look for help to help out with communicate.
Yeah, so especially our sites with leads programs, like I mentioned before, they're usually multi-program sites. So when you pull up to a site, we'll have these yellow or orange A-frames with a phone number, and you can either call or text that phone number. That number will ping to the camp directors at site. If the camp directors, for whatever reason, are not available, it will actually reroute you to the office. So somebody will always answer and we'll get you in contact with somebody at site. But you're going to be looking for that yellow or orange A-frame at the camp location.
All right, fantastic. All right, I want to turn my attention to the team. At the end of the camp day, we might have done a million different things. What a camper typically remembers most and what they should remember most is their counselor and the relationships that counselor fostered and helped with. And it's really the most important part of the Kidventure camp experience, and it's the place where we put the most resources and time in developing. We have an all-adult team, and that's rare at camps. Everybody is first aid and CPR certified. In the state of Texas, one person is needed to be first aid and CPR certified. At Kidventure, we require everybody to be that. We have a national background check yearly for everyone. We operate in low ratios, way under the standard for the industry. And all of our staff are in uniform. So you'll see if they're in a blue shirt, like you can see in the picture there, they're going to be a director. If they're in a red shirt, they're going to be a counselor. And they'll have a name badge on that you can clearly see who they are and identify them as Kidventure employee. On the back side of that name badge, what you don't see is a list of all their kids in their group and any maybe special needs or allergies or anything like that so that we can keep track of that. Look, they go through a lot of training. We just entered our training season. Sort of late March all the way through the end of May is when we do all of our training, and we do a lot of training. We get our staff ready to go so that whether you're attending camp on the first week or the 8th week, they're in a great spot to be able to provide your child with the best possible camp experience, right? And the most important thing is, look, they love sharing their talents and time with our kids. The vast majority of our staff are teachers, they're coaches, they're in fields related to kids because, frankly, that's what they love to do. Summer camp is an incredible place where it gives those people a chance to sort of, if you will, let their hair down and interact with kids in a much more dynamic, adventurous kind of way. And it just works out for everybody because of that. All right. I want to talk a little bit about what's new for 2026. If you haven't already heard, we created a new loyalty program for our families that come 6 or more weeks. We know we have this big chunk of families that use Kidventure in the summertime. We wanted to reward them for that. And so being in that 6+ week in the summertime gets you a lot of things like free post camp every week. It gets you the opportunity to register first before anybody else. And then a discount on anything after 6 weeks as well too. If you're interested in learning more about Ollie's Circle, all you got to do is just let us know. We're happy to share that information. We do have some new camps for this year in the Austin area. I know we have some new camps, and we brought back a new camp in the Houston area that we had before. So all those camps are listed on the website. When you go to the Kidventure website, we've sort of divided it up by city: Austin, Houston, and the DFW area. And on each of those pages, that's really where you should start when you're looking for day camp. There's a map that will show you where those camps are located geographically. You can click into those. It'll give you specific information on those camps. You can see anything existing or anything new on there. We've expanded our leads programs. We're offering more leads camps because, frankly, a lot of our kids are getting older and they want to continue to go to camp. We love that. We've expanded our STEAM programs. and session options now are visible on the app. So before, you really couldn't see any session options on the app, and you can now. And we've scheduled some camp open houses before the summer, opportunities for you to engage us in person, those kind of things. We will keep those posted on the website and send those out via email to let everybody know about those. All right. All right. I think that's it for what's new. I want to talk about a few more things before we get to any questions that people might have. We do have 2 more live streams coming up, and both of these are probably the most well-attended live streams. The first is Field Trips and KV Live. This is where we break down all of our field trips in KV Live. We'll do this for leads. We'll do this for our explorers. We don't do it for discovers because we don't actually field trip our discovers, but we will talk about KV Live because we bring the field trip to them. So we'll talk about all of that. The buses we use, safety procedures, where we're going, all that good stuff. That is April 15th at 12 o'clock noon, you guys. And then the last one we'll do before the summer starts is preparing for your first day of camp. Another really great one, especially if you're new to Kidventure. What does it look like the first day of camp? How do you prepare for camp? You know, what are those tips to make that go as smoothly as possible for you and your camper? And that'll be on May 6th at 12 noon too as well. So I urge everybody maybe to check out one or both of those. All right. I miss anything there, you guys?
No, I think we should just mention the new site locations with Leads program. So in Austin, we have Round Rock with our Leads program. DFW, we have Little Elm, Kessler, and St. Patrick's. And then new to Houston, St. Rose. We've been with St. Rose many years now, but we've never had a Leads program. So there is now a Leads program at St. Rose. So we're excited.
There's not a deadline for registration per se, but some of our sites do fill and they fill pretty quickly. And when that happens, you have the option to go onto a wait list. It doesn't cost you anything, and that wait list is automated too as well. So it's real convenient. So my advice is if you have a week that you want to register for, it's full, get on the wait list because people's schedules do change. They go on vacation, and as soon as one of those families unenrolls from that selected week, it will automatically notify you and give you 24 hours to make that choice to choose to jump onto that camp session. So anyway, a little bit about registration. All right, so we've gotten to the point where we have Q&A. If there's any questions out there, put those in the comments. Once again, I apologize for the technical difficulties earlier. I don't know really what happened. We have echo cancellation, and I've got to figure that out, but there's nothing like hearing my voice more than once, right? All right, I'm looking for any questions. I don't see any right now. There we go. Here we go. We got one here. Let me pull this over, you guys. All right, the question is, for the shoe requirement, can the shoes be rubber with grip soles? Nike makes a new enclosed, fully shoe, no laces, but enclosed with grip soles called the Nike React X. I don't see why not. Sounds good to me. As long as they can be athletic in it.
Yeah, I would say with the Leads program, they do have a Sport of the Week, so they're a little bit more physical than our Explorers and Discovers. So they're a lot more involved. As long as they safely can run in that, like the Crocs, I would say the Crocs have holes. That's a little unsafe for many reasons, right? But for our Leads program, our community service projects sometimes require fully closed shoes just because of the environment that they're in. If they're outside, ants, bugs, things like that. So steering away from the open holes as well. Oh, sorry, Mike, you're muted.
I was going to say, it sounds like a pretty cool shoe, though. Any other questions y'all have? One of the things that always comes up, and I'll throw a question out there, is about lunches. That's one thing. You have the option to bring a lunch, or you have an option to purchase off the lunch menu as well. All of our lunches, no matter what city, are have been contracted with caterers that make their lunches from scratch. They're really good. Our kids love them. I think they're really affordable. And you have some options there. You can opt for the 5-day program. You can't break each individual day down, but we do have some options like I think Pizza Friday, maybe Nada, and
Mhm.
in Austin, I think we do. I
We
don't
got
know.
Taco Tuesday and Pizza Friday.
Oh yeah, and why would you not do Taco Tuesday?
Yeah.
So that's a really great thing to do. The other question that comes up a lot has to do with medications. If that child is taking medications during the camp period, whether that's regular camp time or post camp, um, we require that medication to be turned into the director on that first day of camp. Okay. I know that maybe some of your kids, especially in the LEADS program, maybe can take their own medication, or you allow that at home. We cannot allow that at camp. So medications have to be turned in with the director, along with the medical dosage form, which can be found on the website and also can be found on your newsletter. So you just complete that, fill that out, bring it in with the medication. That medication's got to be in its original container, and then we will make sure and log when that medication is dispensed per your instructions. All right. Um,
And that includes like Tylenol, ibuprofen. I know it's common as they get older. So includes that. So if you're, for whatever reason, your camper needs to take Tylenol or ibuprofen, writing that in the medical dosage form.
yep. Um, Great question, by the way, Stephanie. Has the cancellation refund policy changed for this year? I noticed that you purchased insurance now, like trip insurance for enrollment. So we did add that component this year. So yes, kind of like trip insurance, you have the option now to purchase cancellation insurance. That didn't really alter the cancellation policy. It's just it's another option you can go by. So I don't know, Nada, do you want to explain that a little bit more for people?
Yeah. So when you register, Active, the system that you're registering, is the platform that is offering the insurance policy. So based on your card, it's a percentage how much you need to pay for the insurance. And that kind of basically, we live in Texas, crazy weather, uh, especially in the Houston area, with hurricanes, all that stuff. That kind of covers that. Now, our cancellation, if you cancellation policy for Kidventure is still in a tier system. Um, so I think it was from the time of registration to the end of March, it was a $50 cancellation fee of the deposit. And then now in the month of April until the end of the month, we are at a $75 cancellation fee out of the deposit. And then once May hits, the deposit's non-refundable. And that kind of covers a lot of things, right? We're in the middle of booking field trips, staffing, and camp comes with a lot of expenses. So we need a way to kind of covers us as well.
Yeah, thanks for doing that. And the trip insurance or the camp cancellation insurance is completely separate. That's 100% refundable. And we've had a lot of people purchase that too as well. So we think it's a great product and helpful for our families, and certainly provides some peace of mind. Um, okay, another question in here for lunches. Do you all provide microwave availability? I wouldn't bank on it.
Yeah.
For a couple reasons. For LEADS program, if they're gone twice during the week, once on a community service project, once on a field trip, for sure we probably don't have microwave availability. There are probably some sites where we do. I would just check specifically with your camp director to see if that's an option. But for the most part, I would probably say no on the microwaves. Plan with a non-microwavable lunch. And if we happen to have that and you can work that out with the director, then not a problem for me at all. Would you agree with that, Nada? Are you good with that?
Yeah. I would agree with that. I would try to steer away from like the ramen and instant what is it? Macaroni. We've had a couple incidents where some of our campers will forget to put water. Um, but again, just contacting that site director and letting them know, see if there is a microwave and what that looks like for that specific location.
Okay, question. Do you all do pool water fun activities? Go ahead, Nada.
Yeah, so it really depends on our locations if they have a pool. The leads will also participate in the pool. They'll go through its swim test, making sure that they can safely, swim across the pool. Again, it depends on the location if it does have a pool. We'll do have some water activities, what we call Splash Day Plus, right? So for leads, it really looks like a water relay for kickball, right? So the bases will be like on a slip and slide. Cool thing to leads, they can do more thing during the field trips. So like Typhoon Texas, they will actually go to some of the slides, not all of them, but they'll go to some of the slides. Unlike our explorers, they don't get that because they're so much smaller. So and our leads have a little bit more freedom than our explorers. Again, depending on height, weight, and what the rules are to Typhoon Texas. They'll have a little bit more liberty. They'll still rotate with their camp counselors and their groups, but they can do a little more.
Great. Great question. Thank you, Nada. Any other questions? I'm looking on my panel here to see if there's any more. I really appreciate all these questions, by the way. They really are helpful, not just for you, but for other people who don't necessarily think of those questions. And I will tell you that we are very accessible too. So we do these live streams in addition to all the other communications and opportunities we provide to sort of interact with you. So we sort of ramped up our CSR staff here now because of the amount of traffic that we're sort of getting in the phones and emails. So by all means, if you have a question, you can call the office, and we will almost immediately be able to pick up the phone and talk with you. If for some reason we missed that call and you leave a message, we'll get back with you that same day. We're really good about that. All right, last call for questions.
I know this hasn't come up, but I'm just putting it out here. If you live within like in front of the school, right? And you're like, I don't want to get in the car to pick up my leads camper because they're old enough to walk. There is a walk-in release form. Just call the office and we can provide that for you. Typically, we'll release them right after carpool and we'll go by your designation. If you tell us, hey, I don't want my camper to be released until 5:30, you'll pay that post camp and we won't release your camper until 5:30. So there is that walk-in release form in case you live within walking distance of the camp location.
Yeah, good addition.
I
All
think we
right.
have one more.
You see one in there?
Yes. If we need to cancel. So the question
Here,
is
let
if
me
we need
put that
to,
in there, yeah. If we
yeah,
need to
and
cancel an
individual weeks.
additional week, is there a refund option? I wasn't quite clear on refund policy.
Yeah. So the deposit is on a tier system, right? So once April, now in April is a $75 cancellation fee just for the deposit. And then May, the deposit's non-refundable. If you paid in full your camp, we will refund the rest of the tuition. If you pay just a deposit, that'll go into that tier system. We'll still apply that cancellation policy, part of that $100 deposit. But if you paid in full, the rest is refundable up to 10 days before camp. Once you call on the 11th day that you need to cancel, tuition is non-refundable.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you. One more. Just to thank you for doing the Leads program in Round Rock. My son is so excited to return. Thank you so much for that. That's completely new to Round Rock, right? So we ran summer camp in Round Rock for the first time at Patsy Summer Elementary last year. Loved our Patsy Summer families in that community. It was amazing. We're bringing that program to Round Rock as well as 2 other sites in Round Rock too as well. So really excited about that, and thank you for the comment. We really appreciate it and look forward to spending the summer with your child. Another one. What type of archery do the kids do? Barebow, recurve, or compound? Oh, I love this. So we have a specific archery program. This is really going to blow your mind right now. It's called archery tag. So it is the system of bows and arrows the arrows are soft-sided. Think of it as a giant marshmallow on the end of it. like if I'm 6 years old and someone tells me that I can shoot bows and arrows at other 6-year-old kids, I think I'm going to be like dying, gone to heaven. That's the craziest thing in the world. But we actually found a wonderful system. We've been using it for like 5 years now. Our younger kids learn more skills-based archery. But man, for leads, we set up these obstacle courses and these areas where they divide up into teams. And they actually, it's like archery tag, literally. And that's really the kind of archery that we're doing. Kind of different than what we do at overnight camp. At overnight camp, it's more the traditional compound bow setup that we do at an overnight camp. And for day camp, it's more archery tag. I hope that answers your question there. We start out teaching them how to shoot it, though, first, right? Because some kids, they've never handled a bow and arrow, by the way. All right, great question, though. Thank you very much. Cool, those are used in Korea. Awesome. I love that. Yeah, we are always trying to come up with new games and opportunities for our kids to engage in. And we've got some surprises for the summer, too, as well. So, all right, any other questions from the gallery? I'm scrolling through right now, and I'm looking. Thank you guys very much. All right, I'm going to turn my attention to sort of concluding, y'all, and I'll bring everybody sort of back in. I want to say some last few words about the LEADS program. And once again, if you have questions after today, please feel free to reach out to your city. That's probably the best way to do it. But we can all answer those questions. It's not a problem. Once again, I apologize for the technical difficulties that we had up front. We haven't had technical difficulties in a while. I'm bummed that we had them now, but hopefully we got back on track for you guys and provided some worthwhile information. Okay. I don't know, Noel. I have a soft spot in my heart for the LEADS program, right? I just love those kids. Some of those kids have grown out of the LEADS program, grown up and become counselors for Kidventure too, by the way. It's sort of like a training ground, an unofficial counselor in training program. We're always spotting like talent out there in our LEADS program. But it is a great way. I think kids today have so much going on. And I think that there's a lot of challenges for our 6th grade, 7th graders, 8th graders as they're heading into high school. It's a tough time. It's an awkward time. And I think the more opportunity we give those kids to be with really great mentors, to be in an environment that's really positive, where they're doing things that make themselves feel good and they're contributing to other people, I think it just builds their confidence, right? Because we all know we were all in middle school, right? Our confidence in middle school is probably at an all-time low at times, right? Being in that kind of environment and experiencing what we provide in the LEADS program, I think can only bolster their opportunity to grow stronger as they're moving through those awkward years. I apologize if you're a middle school kid and you're on this for some reason. I'm telling you this, okay? But I lived it and experienced it, okay? And so that's why I think it's so important. I probably think the LEADS program is probably more important than any of our other programs because of that, right? And the second part of this, and I know I'm probably preaching to the choir, is that I think our kids are spending way too much time behind screens and not enough time making friends, interacting with their environment and making real world connections. And I think camp does that. And if you haven't figured it out already, there's no screens at LEADS. I know we parents will ask that question. It is a time to get off of them. And the kids are like, oh my gosh, they think there's no way I'm going to be able to camp. And I promise you, every kid that goes to LEADS that thinks they're not going to survive 10 minutes without their iPhone learns really quick that they don't need it and they don't want it, in great part because everybody else doesn't have it, right? And so it's just a neat experience. All right, Nada, Noel, I'll let you get in the last words and you can land this plane. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is actually LEADS is also my soft spot. I started as a LEADS counselor, and over the years, I've loved to watch it grow. So I'm always excited for LEADS and new things that we can implement for them.
Yeah. Noel?
Yeah. I'm really excited. This is the first year that Austin is going to have a LEADS program, and for it to be at Camp Round Rock is so special, and we're so excited to be there. So we really appreciate all of our campers there and for allowing us to have a LEADS program. So I'm excited for the first year of Austin LEADS. It's going to be great.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Noel. Thank you guys for being with us today. Thank you for joining in, and I hope you learned something.
Continue to engage us, and we look forward to seeing you in, I think, 9 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. Okay, on the opening of the summer. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate your time, and bye-bye.